Do you know the intro?
Welcome back to Qualified Dropouts.
Yeah.
I'm Ian, he's Asher.
Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Are you serious? That's a terrible intro.
We are two.
It's Welcome Back to Qualified Dropouts, Episode 2. My name's Ian, this is Asher. If y'all didn't know who we are, I'm the owner and CEO of Embrace the Journey. He's the owner and CEO of Better Than Before. We both run six-figure online coaching businesses. And this podcast we made to tell you guys the secrets and lessons we have learned throughout us dropping out of college.
Yeah.
Boom.
Perfect. Boom. Intro done. Welcome back, everybody. It is episode 2 of Qualified Dropouts. I am Ian. This is Asher. I'm the owner and CEO of Embrace the Journey, and he is the owner and CEO of Better Than Before. Today, we're going to be talking about why we dropped out of college. Yeah, that's it.
And the lessons we have learned with dropping out of college.
The lessons, but
I think we're going to include the first intro in there.
yeah,
Just because.
it's going to get better.
Yeah.
It's going to get better. These intros
Yeah.
are going to get better. But
anyways,
crack
yeah,
open a cold
so
one for the boys.
also little bit
Wow.
of disclaimer, we ended up changing our names because we thought unqualified was
Not good enough.
just like
Like we are idiots.
Yeah.
Like we're verifying that we are stupid.
Yeah.
But I think
Like what we're saying.
qualified just sounds right because I do believe that we are knowledgeable in some sense.
Yeah.
When we like first meant like unqualified, oh that's funny. Like
Yeah.
we're unqualified because we dropped out, but we were kind of thinking like, well, dude, we're kind of like qualified. We're pursuing our dreams, and I feel like we are qualified in some areas. I mean, 100%. We didn't go to school. We dropped out. We're idiots, but we're idiots that are learning a lot of important value and trying to apply it to our life. So Qualified Dropouts is the new.
I don't know what handle, we'll put our links down below, but I don't know what handle is still unqualified, but something's still unqualified because we can't change it until the 1st of July.
I think it's Instagram.
Oh, is it the Instagram?
Yeah.
Hmm,
The
that's
YouTube's
weird.
already changed.
Yeah, I know the YouTube is changed for sure. And then our email is...
But we can change the email. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
We can eventually just make a new email and do that. But
Yeah.
we're getting off topic.
Yeah, we're getting
But
off
we're
topic.
Qualified Dropouts now
Yeah.
because we have some type of education.
Because what we talk about, we feel like we're very valid in these topics. We're not going to talk about anything we don't think is... A lot of stuff we do talk about is very opinionated. But, however, we've learned the lessons that we've learned lessons about the things we talk about.
I think the things we're going to talk about is like things that we've experienced, and then also the outcomes of those experiences, and then what we could have changed differently.
Yeah.
In those experiences. So
Yeah.
of course this is like very opinionated, and that's just that's the point of podcasts. Gives a perspective of different views in life. So I don't know. Today we're going to talk about why we dropped out.
Yeah.
The goods, the bads. And also, I think we can talk about, because I'm for people going to school. Before we continue, I want to make that school's great, can be great, can be a really great resource, a lot of knowledge in there. It is necessary, but I believe that you don't always need to drop out, or you don't always need to go to school to feel like you're working towards something. I think that's where a lot of people, they feel like if they aren't in school, they still don't know what they want to do with their lives, but they're like, you know what? I'm at least becoming successful because I'm just putting myself through school and consistently learning, which great, knowledge is important, but you don't have to go to school. Like you can learn in so many different ways. I think that's the beauty of our
I have a lot to talk about this topic.
I would say Asher's more on the fuck school, drop out. I don't care who you are, drop out. I'm more on the it's okay to be in school, and I think it can be really useful, but I think there are points where it's if you don't, certain people should not go to school, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm definitely more on the spectrum of, I really, really firmly believe that college is a pretty big scam, to be honest. I mean, obviously you have...
To an extent, though.
Well, you have to be a lawyer, doctor, blah, 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 yeah, whatever. And if you go in there with a plan... That's one thing, it's not a scam. However, most of the time what people go into college for, it's all online for so much less I don't even know. Is that the same?
think-
So much less of the price?
It was so much cheaper. But like,
So much cheaper. There it is.
I believe like business management, business admin. A lot of people go into that career or like go for that degree because they feel like, well, I'm in school and I'm at least going to get a degree so I can use it. But what are you even going to use it for? Like, let's say like you finish and then you're like, man, I actually just want to start my own business. It would have been better for you to invest in a mentor, start your own business, kickstart it, and learn through the experiences than to pay to go to school, because you're paying for a professor who obviously doesn't even own his own business, right? Like the entrepreneurship programs, those are like, what?
Yeah.
You're paying to be taught by a professor who doesn't own his own business. So it's like, why would you not want to pay for mentors who own businesses or like who have been through that and just start learning through going through the process?
Yeah.
But I am for school if it's like.
I'm just gonna check something real quick and keep talking.
Yeah.
All right. Because sometimes remember last time the camera like cut out.
Oh yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure it was still rolling.
Eventually we should get 2 cameras.
Yeah. But anyways, that's kind of off topic. We really want to talk about our stories and our experience with college.
Yeah. We can dive deeper into that later. But
Yeah, we can get deeper into all that stuff once we start, kind of explaining why we did what we did. But you want to go ahead?
You want
me to go ahead?
Why did you drop out?
So why did I drop out?
Actually, no. Let's start with why did you go to school?
Okay, that's a great way to start it. This is the sole-handed reason why I went to school and why I really, really believe that it's so popular, and why college is so popular. And I simply went for the reason that it is socially acceptable. Like, I was going through the system, I was going through what the government was telling me to do, I was going through what's normal, and I really thought that if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't be accepted by anybody, and that's why I went. I already knew what I wanted to do, and it didn't involve college at all. It was literally what I'm doing right now. I think I said that in the Potter last episode. But yeah, and I didn't want to tell anyone that because I was scared. I was like, well, if I tell them that, they're just going to basically shoot me down. Took me 3 years to notice it, but that's why I went to college. I had no plan at all. I went to college and studied agriculture shit.
Wait, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I studied business agriculture for the first year of college, and I remember sitting in this, I think it was like a crop yielding class or some shit, learning about quantities of corn, and I'm like, I was like, is this actually what people go through to get jobs? This isn't right. There's no way.
Corn's important.
Yeah, I know, but I was like,
Food supply is important.
I was like, there's no way I'm learning about this and I'm applying this. That was the thing. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be applying this. And then once I got into like math and shit like that and all these like cosine triangles, I don't fucking know what that means anymore. But like, I remember sitting in class wondering, when am I ever going to use this? Ever. But the more and more I've been out of college, I know that they do that because a big thing about putting pointless ass subjects out there is for you to basically solve problems and get through it, because that's kind of the difference with us dropping out of college. Like, we've gone through a lot of life stuff, but people go through that in college. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think, but I wouldn't say every subject is like useless. I think like they teach it because there is eventually going to be that problem that you do have to solve, right? And I think at school, the reason why it can be so challenging, it like challenges you to work towards something for years, and then you finally get an outcome, which can build a lot of discipline. But,
that's what I was getting at. Yeah, it builds a lot of discipline. Yeah.
I mean, I think sometimes definitely going to school, like the subjects, I'm just like, what the heck? Like, I was supposed to go to nursing school, and I was supposed to get my degree the last semester, and they added a Spanish and like some history classes that they're like, oh, well, we've changed your program, so you need another Spanish. You need, because they failed my transcripts or whatever. Like, they didn't see them anymore or something like that. So they added another Spanish, and they added some history classes, and I'm like, so I had to take another 5 classes when you already told me this was the second time they did that too. Because like the first time they're like, oh, you'll be done this semester. Sick. Finished it. Oh, well, actually, you have to add these 2 more classes. I'm like, all right, whatever. 2 classes, I'll be done. No, added 5 more or something like that. I'm like, I don't get it. Because then they lost transcripts of my language. So I'm like, why do I need Spanish and freaking history if I'm going to nursing school? Like, I'm going to learn how to draw blood and save somebody's life. I guess being educated, but still, I'll just Google how to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
So
why did you go to college then? Because we got off topic again.
Yeah, I know this happens a lot. But why did I go to college? So right out of high school, I actually took a gap year. I think my parents have always been supportive of like.
Wait, you took a gap year? I didn't even know that.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So I graduated high school and I took a gap year. I just kind of did what I wanted because I did dual enrollment through high school actually. So I was already like 2 years ahead.
Wait, weren't you homeschooled too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled all my high school. And so, well, half of ninth grade and then all the way through senior. And I had 2 years of college done prior to graduating. But because I switched, because at first my major was finance, because I switched on transcripts and everything, it didn't show that I had 2 years. I had to go for another 2 years in a sense, or like do another like year to get my 2-year degree for nursing, or like for health sciences to then go to nursing school. So I went to school, I took a gap year, and I basically just like wanted to figure out what I want to do that year. I had some fun, I worked a bunch, I just saved money, I traveled, I did a lot of things. And then I went to school because I was like, you know what, I just need to, like I need to have a plan, and I didn't want to like just not do something. And my parents were always supportive, like, it's like, just have a plan. That's what they always said. Just know what you're gonna do. Don't just become like okay with like having a serving job and you make, you know, decent money, or okay with where you're at. Like you maybe see, like they didn't care. They just wanted me to have a plan and be like do what I truly wanted. So they always pressured me like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I didn't know, so I was like, you know what? After that year, I was like, I want to do nursing. Oh, sorry, excuse me. That's freaking 3D energy. But after a year off, I like knew I always wanted to do medical field. I was like, you know what, a nurse is a great career. I like researched a bunch of other careers, and I was, you know, nursing school, awesome, I can do it. So I started taking nursing classes, like prereqs, and I spent the next like year and a half doing prereqs for nursing school. I just kept doing it, working at Chick-fil-A, and then in the middle of it, I was like, I want to do something else. I want to have a different job. So I got my CPT, was an in-person trainer, and yeah, so I just did nursing requirements. And then finally, I didn't get my 2-year degree, but I finished enough prereqs where I could go and apply for nursing schools and start getting accepted. And so I did, and I got accepted to UCF and some other schools, but I got accepted to UCF, which I was gonna go. And all I had to do was they said, okay, you have to take this one class, but that's because it's like everybody who goes there has to take a certain class. Buddy, stop. Beat his ass. No, I'm kidding. So I was gonna have to take one class, and then I could apply for the nursing program and get into it. But as it got closer and I finished it, I was really thinking like what I wanted to do with my life. And I was like, do I really want to do nursing? And I saw other people go through it and stuff, but I truly did have a passion for nursing in the beginning. That's why I went to nursing
school is fucking crazy.
Like, but I didn't just go to college because I feel like I had to. I was like, you know what, I want to go because I do need a requirement for nursing, and I did have a passion for it in the beginning. And I was like, oh, this could be a great career to get into, but yeah, I just eventually learned that it wasn't for me.
The people who actually finish nursing school, dude, it's like fucking, it's a long time.
Mentally draining.
My brother's girlfriend has been in it for like 6 years and still isn't done. Like, that's...
Yeah, no, it's tough.
I couldn't even finish regular college.
Yeah.
Let alone nursing school, holy shit.
So that's kind of like why I went is, yeah, I mean, I took a gap year. Like, I wasn't one that like was forced to like go into it because I felt like I had to, but I took a gap year, and then I was like, yeah, I want to do nursing. So I knew I had to get a degree for that. I didn't just go for business. When I was in high school, I was doing finance classes, so that's why it kind of screwed me over. No, I wasn't too far ahead.
Yeah. So now I kind of want to talk about what we learned in college. Not like math problems. I'm talking about like specific things about ourselves, life experiences, stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't really know. You go ahead. I spent a lot of money for no reason.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things I learned when it comes to like kind of like just like in life in general is learning who you're surrounding yourself with. And I'm not saying the people I hung out with in college were like bad at the time, but a lot of the times people would hang out with other groups as well as myself. I would hang out with other groups I necessarily didn't really like or even care to hang out with, but I knew that they were kind of like cool in a way. So I would be like, yeah, I can hang out with them because maybe I'll get in with this and maybe I'll get in with that. Mm-hmm. But I think that's one of the big things I learned is just hang out with the right group of people and not necessarily a group of people you want to be like.
That's fair.
I don't know if I explained that correctly. There's a lot of other things, but that's one thing.
I mean, it's so true. Like, surround yourself with other people that are living the lifestyle you want or are going down the lifestyle and path that you want to go down to. Because if you do that, you're eventually going to go down the lifestyle with them and you're going to pursue your dreams. Because if you're surrounded by like-minded people, that's just it. Like, you're just going to go, like, if you're surrounded by the wrong people and they're doing everything against what you want to do, you're eventually going to fall in with them because you're going to feel left out. And if you feel left out and you're alone and you have no one else around you, you're going to just go with the crowd because that's what, I mean, shoot, humans are like sheep. Like, we love, like, community is important. Socializing is very important.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's very important to surround yourself with people who are very like-minded and where you want to go in life. Because if you don't, you're going to go with the crowd that you hang around the most. So, and I don't think we can explain that even any better, but like...
Yeah. So what's one thing you learned then?
I
got some other things, but...
Yeah, no, I don't think I learned anything like super crazy. I think one thing I learned that it's okay to go down avenues and at the end of the avenue, you learn that you don't like it, you just know it for the rest of your life, you're fine. Yeah, did I waste a year and a half or maybe like 2 years of college or however long it was? Honestly, I don't remember the semesters, but into like studying for nursing school, yeah, I guess I wasted it, but it taught me what I truly wanted to do. So taking that risk and doing it and just going down the avenue and committing to it, and just taught me who I wanted to be in the future. So it's like sometimes things, like right now, whatever you guys are thinking what you want to do, sometimes you don't know if it's going to be the right decision or you want to commit to somebody, you don't know if it's going to be your forever, but that's okay. Like, just do it. Like, just do it, commit to it, and then you'll learn along the way. I think a lot of people get too scared to take that risk and that commitment, like, well, I don't know. And what they end up doing is just sitting right back at the beginning of the roadway. And like, they don't do anything. They just sit where they're at for years, actually.
That was one of the big things. That was actually what I was going to say next. Is when it comes to regret, people, it's a very, very slim chance people actually regret about things they do. People regret things about things they don't do.
Yeah, that's
how it is, because everything I look back on my life, not necessarily regret, but I'm like, damn, I wish I would have done that. I've never said, damn, I regret doing that. Like, even going to college, I don't regret going to college at all.
Yeah.
Because the thing is me going to college made me realize how much I hated it and how much I did not want to work for anyone else but myself.
Yeah, and I think that's like super powerful. It's like a lot of, like, it can go with relationships, with jobs, with life experiences, going on traveling, whatever. A lot of people, they look back and they're like, damn, I wish I did that. They never say, I wish I never dated that person. Yeah, you might hate your ex, whatever. Yeah. But you can always learn. And I believe that, like, every time you get in a relationship, it can either be a stepping stone to find the right person, because when you get out of that horrible relationship or whatever, you're going to learn and you're going to be able to picture and clarify the woman or the man or non-binary, no offense, like, just whatever. I'm just being real, it's 2022, but whoever you're dating, like, you're just be able to, and whoever you want your significant other to be, every relationship can just help you clarify like who that perfect person's gonna be. So like, just like regret, no one ever looks back and regrets, I wish I didn't do that. Obviously, if you lost a a lot of money or lost something, like maybe, you went drunk driving and you lost a friend, but you learn from it. And like, I wish I never did that, but you're like, I know I'm never going to do that again. So you're going to learn from it anyways. I don't know. But I think a lot of people, like majority of the time they look back and they're like, I wish I did try this avenue. I regret.
Dude, there's never been a time someone asks out a girl and they're like, damn, I regret asking her out and getting dumped. No, you don't say that.
Yeah.
A year passes, she gets with another guy, and you're like, damn, I wish I would have asked her out. I regret that shit.
Yeah.
Because it's happened to me.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's true.
These girls get taken from me.
Yeah. No, like not making a move.
Yeah.
Like not just trying. Like, and it can be in the moment, you're like freaking out. Like, is this, like, how is it going to affect me later on in life? The only way it's going to affect you is you're going to either look back and say, I wish I did it, or you're going to learn from it.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be in a freaking amazing place. No one ever looks at the positive.
Exactly.
Like that statement you have. Like, what if it turned out better than you expected?
Yeah, better than you can imagine. But, well, it's not what I said, it's what Russ said. But, however, that is what I'm going to name my book.
There you go.
But
what did you ask me? You asked, what's one thing I learned? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we already said.
Yeah.
But, all right, next, I kind of want to talk about our journey with college, or you kind of already touched on yours. I didn't even talk about like what I studied. So I studied agriculture, some bullshit, and then I went into sports management, and then I went into business marketing. And the first major, I have no idea why I went into that. I still don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I think my mom chose it because she was like, well, you like being outside. And I'm like, yeah, fuck it, run it. But anyways.
Take care of that corn.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's terrible.
Cross-pollination.
Yeah, that there was someone outside. And then, so I chose sports management after that. The reason why I chose sports management is because stupidest thing ever. I thought that would possibly give me the opportunity to know the knowledge to open up a gym. Sports management. Yeah. And then once I got in that major for about I think it was 2 semesters I was in it, it was just about like you being a manager for like a freaking D3 college football team.
That sounds fun.
And it's, I guess, but also like I'm not really that big of a sports guy. And then I went into business marketing, and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then once I started getting more and more professors, it felt really backwards. And I'm not bashing the school. Oh, actually, yeah, I kind of am. Well, not really. Just like I was learning stuff
bash it.
I was learning stuff from business professionals who have, and I was literally in entrepreneurship classes, and these people were teaching me how to run a business who have never ran a business. And I think that was really the defining moment. I was like, why am I learning something where this guy's never completed?
Yeah. Dude, I had actually one teacher who I was like, he's probably I look back and I'm like, damn, he probably was the best teacher I ever had. I was in finance when I was in high school, and he was just doing it was like macroeconomics or something like that. But he used to write up deals and sell deals for Boeing. You know what Boeing is?
Yeah.
Freaking.
Yeah, huge.
Multi-million, it probably touches billion-dollar deals. And what was it? He was in China or Japan. And something with like the U.S. happened.
Oh, you told me the story.
Yeah, and in the middle of his deal, they all came in. They said, "Hey, you have to cut this out now. We're gonna like break it up because there's like a war going on between Japan and the U.S." It's kind of crazy. But anyways, that's off topic as always. But he was like the realist because he was like teaching us all about finance or whatever. And he used to just like, he was very invested, had his own businesses. Like he was very well knowledge with how to be very, very wealthy. And he would talk about like his investments in the past, what he learned from them. And he was like the realest professor I've ever had because he literally lived through the experiences.
Yeah.
He like lived through, he's like, man, tell him about when it crashed, the stock market crashed, what he did. And then he was telling us about, I was talking about the Apple splits. He invested like hella money. And then Apple, they had these stock splits where it was like, every one stock you owned, you got 5. So they did a split. And then like a year later, they did another split. Whereas every stock you had, you got 7. So he turned one of those stocks into 5. And then a year later, each one of those stocks turned into another 7. And he's like, yeah, I made hella money. He was like, I made some good money off that.
Yeah.
He was like, but it was cool because like that whole class, he just taught a lot about his experiences and like he would relate it to the book, right? Because he had to.
Dude, that's so
But
cool.
he was so real about it because he went through, like he taught the experience. He went through it and he learned it and he told us how to get away from it or like what he learned.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like, I mean, dude, the real experiences.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to keep saying that word, but
Yeah.
that's why it's so backwards.
Yeah, a big thing I learned in marketing wasn't necessarily marketing. It was like how to manage a team, but it's like, what team are you going to manage when you don't even know where to start? So it was just like, I don't know, the things they were trying to teach out of the book.
Yeah. It's just very basic.
It's very broad.
Cookie cutter.
It's very, very broad, and you get the very broad stuff, but you're not going to learn anything until you're actually in it. And I said this last episode, I'm always going to say it. I don't care, how many books you read, you're never going to learn unless you actually start doing it. Whatever that is.
We're learning a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I learned more about starting a business, like just actually doing it and not trying to perfect it than just like trying to read about how to start one. Like,
yeah. I'm not saying, disclaimer, I'm not saying books aren't helpful. Me and Ian read lots of books. Like, books help us a lot. But what we're trying to say is that
you need to take that knowledge and put it in action.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. A lot of people read it and they think they just have the knowledge. So they're like, oh, I'm very knowledgeable. But it's like, take that knowledge you're learning and put it in action, test it, and learn from what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I could get better at for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes I read things and I listen to things and I don't really soak it up and then actually apply it to my life. I just like, okay, I know it if this happens. But it's
because
like,
that's a big thing, bro. People are like, yeah, I know how to do it. However, I just need to know how to do this. And it's like, well, you know how to do it. Why are you asking me this question?
Yeah.
I know how to lose weight, but like, also, how do you lose your first 20 pounds? What?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
I know how to make $1 million, but I'm still stuck at like 2K months.
Yeah.
What? It's just backwards. And it feels like that happens a lot. And
I think it's a lot of pride.
Yeah.
Like, people are like too prideful to say that they have a problem. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? I tell I'm like, I have a lot of problems. I'm like, please help me find the fastest way to get the solution.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to weight loss, and it's just, I'm going to refer this because like we are weight loss coaches, lifestyle, like this is what we do. And like the biggest thing I hear is like, I know how to do it. I just hit a plateau. So it's like, or calorie deficit. Oh, bro, kills me. Like, I know how to go into a calorie deficit, but I'm having a hard time losing weight. And I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, if you know how to be in a calorie deficit, or you know how to be in a calorie deficit, how are you having issues with losing fat? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's actually backwards. Like, you're literally you're freaking contradicting yourself. And I'm like, that makes no sense. And I'm like, well, okay, what's your calorie deficit? Oh, well, I don't know. I'm like, do you track? Well, not really. And I'm like, so how do you know you're in a calorie deficit? Do you just say you're in a calorie deficit and that makes you feel happy?
Yeah.
And you feel like because you ate grilled chicken once a day or something? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but man, I mean, I am trying to call people out. But like, that's like the biggest thing. Is like when people, I think it's just pride. I really think it's pride.
Yeah, it's pride and ego.
Yeah. Because shit.
We're back. This is something we literally just talked about on the podcast was I don't even know if it got this actually, regardless of the amount of books you read or whatever, you're not going to know unless you do it. And we just found out that the camera we have only records for 30-minute segments. So we're setting a timer now for 30 minutes.
Live and learn that. I'm going to set it for 28.
Yeah, set it for 28.
Yeah, no, I mean, shoot, live and you learn, right? It sucks because we talked a lot. Because we talked about college parties. We talked about college parties. So we talked about pride. We ended off with pride.
I don't even know if I want to tell that college story again.
Damn.
Because now thinking about it, dude, That's really up there.
But
Dude was doing a fucking
yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
Basically, just sum it up. There's a guy.
Okay. To sum it up, I'll just tell a story really briefly. One of the craziest stories that I had in college was we had a big Halloween party. There was like 400 people there. It's crazy. We had a live band. It was awesome. And my back door was unlocked to my house. Walked inside. There was this dude doing a line, and he had a snake around his neck. And he turned around, and the snake turned around with him. And he was like, "Dude, you want one?" And I was like, "No, dude, get the hell out of my house." Yeah. But yeah, that was basically the craziest story for me.
And then for me, what I was just talking about was we had this like beach house. It was like right off the beach. We threw parties like every weekend, and it was like right when Jules came out, so everyone became addicted. I didn't, thankfully. I just didn't really care for them. And we would wake up every morning, like after the night, and there's like an acoustic guitar there, and there'd be like 8 dudes or however many people stayed the night. We'd wake up, sit in the living room, and one guy would just go and strum it and sing and like recap the night. Then we'd pass the guitar around, and it was just funny. It was like say one-liners, and we sucked at guitar. No one really knew how to play, and so we'd just like strum and sound like trash, but pretty memorable. I can't say it.
Rememberable.
Yeah. Say it 3 times fast, but.
Yeah, we screwed up. We should have had the timer on, but hey, for next Potter we know, so we don't.
We have timers. We can clip it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, so we don't do this again.
But live and you learn. So yeah. All right. So we just talked about the good, kind of. We talked about the good about college, and like it can be.
We already talked about the bad.
Yeah. Let's go over why did you drop?
Yeah, I want to talk about the exact situation. So it's actually funny because the date's actually coming up from a year ago today. So on my birthday, I visited Houston. I drove down with my best friend. He's probably watching this podcast. Shout out to James. We got a fucking Tesla for my birthday. It was so sick. We had it auto drive us to Houston. It was so awesome. Anyways,
that's
so sick, bro. Like I have videos of me driving a Tesla. It's probably on my TikTok feed. I had a Tesla being drove for me, and James took a video of me, and I was acting like I was asleep with a blanket on me. So funny. So funny.
It's so good.
And I think the caption was like on the way to Alphalete. And it was me literally sleeping, and there was hardstyle playing in the back. But anyways.
That's actually pretty good.
So my birthday's on July 2nd, so the date's coming up. I was at Alphalete, and I really just like took in the environment, and I was like, it's kind of crazy how I could make this a career if I had more time. And we talk about this a lot, just buying back our time to, get on one path and do specifically what you want to do. So it was really that defining moment when I connected with everyone in Alphalete and was like, damn, this is what I really want to do. And that I didn't officially submit my application to Dropout until I would say probably like the 10th or 11th of July, because when I got back, I already made the decision, but this is when I like put my head down and focused, and I was like, oh shit, wait, I gotta actually like drop out before I get charged again. But yeah, so that was really the defining moment. But what I really figured out was what I was doing in college, I wasn't doing it for myself. I was doing it because I wanted to be socially accepted by my peers, my family, and just everyone I met in life. And still to this day, it is very difficult to have conversations with people in their 40s, and I tell them that I own my business at 22 years old and I don't have a degree. And they're like, they're basically like, is this legal? Pretty much, because they don't really know anything about it. Yeah. And it's real, like, I literally...
You don't need a degree to own a business.
I just got off this phone call yesterday. She was fucking awesome. She's in her mid-40s. She was telling me, she was like, yeah, I mean, if you only have like 18 credits, it doesn't hurt to, finish it. And she definitely has a point. There are a lot of, like, for one dude, applying for loans it helps a lot to have a college degree.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. So that's like one thing. Am I ever going to go back to college? I don't see myself ever doing that. She definitely had a good point, but for some people, it's really hard to have conversations with because they think that you really have to follow what the government has set out for you when you're born, which is go through the system. And I was starting to learn about money, and these business people were starting to tell me a little bit about money, and I was like, there has to be another way. There has to be another way. There's no way these multimillionaires are multimillionaires because they're born with multimillions. There's something they did that they're not teaching you. And that was one really big thing for me.
It's like the average salary of somebody who graduates college is like, it's like $80K or something.
Oh, no. It's way less than that. I think it's $54,000.
And that's like, so that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of curious.
But that was a big thing for me also was, and what I do now is definitely not for money. I do what I do now because I can firmly say I enjoy it, and I love doing it. That's why I dropped out in the first place. But I didn't really want to settle for a lifestyle where I still live for the weekends. And my brain was always programmed like that. So now when it's like a Wednesday afternoon and if I like want to go grocery shopping or I want to go to the beach, I can do that. And it's really weird to have that freedom now, but
it's funny.
Well, 54,000?
No, 64 for a bachelor's degree. Master's is only 77, and a doctorates is only 97K. Not even 6 figures, and you have a doctorates.
Yeah.
And it's like 6 figures is not that much. Like,
it's not.
I mean, it is enough if you're single, but you have a family and everything, and you have loans. And it's just like
it's just surreal to me because like, I this just isn't talked about enough, and I wish it was. This is what needs to be structured in high school. Is they need to lay out what your next 8 years is going to look like if you go to college. That needs to be said. Because when I went to college, I had no idea I was going to be paying $20,000 in student loans, and this is how it works, and this is how it works.
If they did that, not a lot of people would go to college.
I know.
They'd be like, why? Because like when you see like, okay, hey, you're going to be spending upwards of $40,000 to $80,000 total to get your degree. And they say, yeah, and after that, you're going to be making $64,000 a year. You're like, wait, I'm spending almost like $80K, upwards of $100. It depends on what school you go to. Fuck, I mean, that's just a rough estimate. I don't even know exactly. And you're only be making $64K a year.
Yeah.
A year. So how realistically, like living expenses is going to cost, maybe half of that or whatever, a car and all that stuff. And it's like, you can't even pay off your loans in a year. Shoot, even 5 years. That's why they give you 30-year loans, right? Isn't it 30 years?
For a student?
Yeah.
No, it's 10.
It's 10?
Yeah, it's 10.
Still, 10 years. And they're like, it's just, oh man.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like if they did that and they said, hey, yeah, come spend 100 grand, 80 grand, whatever it is to get your degree, and you're going to be making 30 to 70K a year.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's...
But
if they put the numbers out there, like a lot of people are like, oh, it's only like it's only like this much a semester I can work and pay it off, and it's like that's how they get you. Mm-hmm. It's like they don't tell you the full, like they don't tell you they don't tell you exactly what it is. They tell you what's gonna how much it costs now, and it's not that much. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it comes down to the reason. To get back on topic, the reason why I dropped out is because I wasn't happy with anything that I was doing. I don't really know how to say it. I didn't agree with anything that goes on in college. That's basically my stance on it. The things I was getting taught, the things I was seeing where my life was headed, I just did not agree with anything that they were telling me. I was like, there has to be another way. Because if this is the life I'm going to live, it's going to be a really sad 75 years until I die. This is the way I'm going to live. Sure. And I think once once I really realized that if I take this path, this is where it's headed. And as we stated earlier in this podcast, I'm going to regret the living shit out of it if I don't take this other risk later down the line.
It's like, what's wrong with taking a year to 2 years and focusing? Like, 2 years is not that long.
Yeah, it's not.
Right?
Guys, I dropped out of college 11 months ago.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's like, if you took 2 years.
Yeah.
Even, imagine 4 years. Like, take your degree, don't pay for a degree. Take 4 years and all that money you'd spend on a degree and living there and everything, and just spend it elsewhere, reinvest into what you truly want to do, and to recording content, and to starting your pop-up shop, and to whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Right? Or living life a little bit, going and exploring, maybe new opportunities open up, like that you find maybe a really great job you don't need a degree for, whatever, but spend that 4 years of just like investing in yourself, not just being in the same place. Like, don't just spend the 4 years working the same job and doing the same shit, going out every weekend. Spend that 4 years, invest in in yourself, take all that money you would, and see how far it gets you. I guarantee you, by the end of the first year, you're gonna see some type of results. You're gonna see that you can actually do this and you're gonna pursue your dreams. And people don't realize that, like, oh, I go to college, I could just do both. And it's like, why would you wanna, like, why don't you just wanna take that risk of the first year, even 2 years?
That's the thing.
And then if it doesn't work out, fuck, guess what? School's always there, and I tell you what, they're always gonna give you that loans because they're gonna trap you. So like, you are always guaranteed to go back to school. You are guaranteed to never not be accepted. They are accepting everybody, small school, big schools, whatever. You're gonna get a degree if you really want one, if it doesn't work out. So it's like, just take that risk, right? Yeah. It's just like, and I never got that. I never got that because I felt,
guys,
it's like a security blanket.
Yeah,
like,
dude, you're gonna get the same.
Security. It's like having a degree is security if times get tough or a recession comes. Well, if you go to a job interview, like, you're gonna look better because I don't want to go to a job interview. Fuck it. I want it to be my business. Yeah. Why would I want to pay? Like, why would I want to go work for somebody else and they pay me less because there's a recession? Yeah, that person might have a degree, but shit, I'm not gonna have to be in that interview because I'm gonna be the CEO. Yeah. Right? And so
that happens a lot. That happens with us.
Like, I hate that. It's like, well, if you ever need to go in an interview, I tell you what, if I ever have to get a job again, I'm gonna bartender, be a server, and the reason being is I know how to do it. They hire anybody, you don't need a degree. If you know how to talk and you have past experience, they're gonna hire whoever. They don't care. No one wants to work right now. It's after COVID, no one wants to work. There are very great paying jobs. I saw this was the craziest thing on Alabama. I know we're getting off topic, kind of relates, but we were driving back from Alabama. Dude, this trucking business they were offering, it was either $3,000 or $5,000 sign-on bonus, and they'll help you get your CDL. Wow. Like, we'll pay you $5,000 to get a job here, and then you're making, dude, some truckers make like 80 to 100K a year.
Yeah, dude, they make bank.
And I'm like,
and most of the time,
and they're paying for everything. All you have to do is just go and be like, yo, I know how to drive. Like, teach me how to drive a big truck, and I'll drive a big truck. And they're gonna give you a sign-on bonus of $5,000, and they're gonna be paying you upwards of like 80 to 100K a year to drive for them. You're telling me you wanna not take a risk in spending a year to 2 years? Don't know if you figure out when you could, like, and you'll make more money doing that trucking job than if you were to spend 80K on a degree right there. Yeah. Crazy to me. Like, that, when I saw that, I was like, damn, people really don't want to work. And dude, these sign-on bonuses are insane. I saw
truck drivers, like, they make 80 to 100K. That is basically all profit. Literally. Yeah, because they don't have to pay for anything.
No, they fucking live in their truck.
They live in their truck all the time. Like, until they get time off to hang out with
their family.
Yeah, their family.
And it's like, okay.
And it's like, yeah, you got to pay for that, but other than that, dude, shit.
You got the money.
Yeah.
And then guess what? You take that money, you go invest yourself, you do your thing again, and you make money until you find a way until you can create passive income where you don't have to work for anybody ever again.
Yeah, that was something with me. A couple days ago on a call, they were like, she's working with me now, but she was like, "Are you ever gonna think about getting, your fucking exercise science PhD study whatever, or like, are you ever gonna become a certified nutritionist? And in my mind, I was like, why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah, it's a waste.
The thing is it's different wiring of the brain. So for me, when she said that, I was like, I'm just gonna pay someone to work for me.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
but it's not even that. I'm not gonna.
It's gonna be cheaper for me to do that, buy back all my time, than me to go study for 8 years just to get certified.
But the nutritionists, they base it off of, okay, all they're learning. I'm actually coaching somebody who literally is going for the exercise science, nutrition, whatever. Like, this is what she's doing. Dude, nutrition, like the things I've taught her, she's like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, she's like, you're teaching me so much how to lose fat, build muscle, whatever. But I'm just like, nutritionists, it's a very cookie cutter, base it off of a 2,000 calorie diet, the national average. Like, it's not tailored. And realistically, it's not right all the time.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And getting your certification in that and exercise science, you're learning the biomechanics of your body. You're learning the skeletal system, you can just Google it and save you. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah.
And it's like, I respect people who go to college for that. It looks great if you want to work for somebody else. But on a knowledge standpoint, knowledge, not certified or whatever, an exercise science degree does not make you more knowledgeable than some of these top coaches. A lot of them don't have them. And that's just because
they've been through
it's
it,
not,
and they've coached people as well.
That,
They've been
but
through
also like the knowledge is still out there, and the exercise science degree doesn't make you more knowledgeable. It teaches you about biomechanics and kind of helps you about the general population, but it's such a waste. And I went and got my CPT, and I took a nutrition course, and I was like, this is like so wrong. And all of it teaches nothing I have not used that. I use the CPT to get a job, but all my knowledge, dude.
Hey man, in college, I failed
Google.
nutrition. I failed twice.
Yeah. And
Took
it's
it my
like,
freshman year, failed. Tried it again, failed.
and the knowledge is out there on Google, so why would I want to go spend $80,000 to say I'm certified and have a paper that says, oh, you're acceptable now in some areas, but it's like, why would I don't know. And no hate to people getting exercise science degrees. I think it could be really great. You can utilize it.
No, if you want to learn about
100%,
it, dude,
and it helps
go
give
for
you
it.
more social proof. It does. I do believe that.
Yeah.
And there's different ways you could get social proof to make you legitimate and show that you have, you are very knowledgeable in your field. And exercise science degrees, that's one of them, right? I think for me to show my social proof is to get client transformations, to share my knowledge, to research my own studies, to be open to when other people tell me information, I'm open to it, and I say, oh, let me take a look at this. I'll research it myself, dive into it, and then I'll make my own conclusion, right? Because that's what exercise, fat loss, fitness, nutrition, it has changed so much in the past 10 years. All the knowledge back then is totally different now. A lot of studies are now contradicting everything they said in the past. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it's always evolving. So I just don't think an exercise science degree is always going to be the answer. It just gives you more social proof, which can be great for some people. But yeah, now we're getting really off topic.
Yeah, that was probably the worst one.
Off topic. Yeah. But it'll be good clips.
Yeah, that was the worst one. So I mean, I'm gonna just be like, the reason why Ian dropped out of college is probably the exact same reason as mine. But
yeah, no, I think I just realized I wanted to do I was going to go for nursing school, and then after I finished, decide I didn't want to, I knew I shouldn't go back to school and just feel like I should be a part of the system and going to classes. So my parents were like, why aren't you? I'm like, I don't know yet, I'm trying to figure it out. And I was an in-person trainer, which is a decent field. I was making pretty good money, but I'm like, that's not what I always want to do. I always want to become an online coach. And I always want to do social media. And I was like, you know what? I saw a really great opportunity. I was like, I'm gonna just freaking do it. And that decision changed my life. I didn't have to work at Chick-fil-A. I didn't have to work at in-person trainer. But I dropped out just because I knew I didn't need a degree for what I really wanted to do in life. And I was still figuring it out. I was just waiting because I didn't want to do nursing anymore, so there's no purpose of me going back to school. So I dropped out because of that.
Yeah. How much time do we have left?
8 minutes.
Okay.
So I think we can
end it there. I just wanted to say one last thing before we close it out. So just to sum everything up, when it comes to college, for me, the biggest lesson is please learn from my mistakes and do not go to college because you think you have to because it's socially accepted. If you know that you are going there because you think your mom or your dad or your sisters or family or whatever, they think you are going to become successful just because you have a college degree, I'm being so serious. You need to have a legit, serious conversation with your mother and your father and tell them, this is not what I want to do. Let me run you through the numbers and tell you how shit this ROI is actually going to take me the next 10 years. Yeah. But if you have that conversation with them, make sure you have a plan set in place for that 4 years. That's the thing. If you don't have a plan, well, then I'm going to be honest, you probably shouldn't be living at your parents' house. Because that was a big thing with me when I dropped out. My mom said, hey, you got 90 days, and if you don't do anything in 90 days, well, you'll either be homeless or live with one of your friends. So, not saying your parents need to put you that restrictive
Honestly,
on,
no, I think
on
they
time.
do. Because I think a lot of people are too soft, and it's like, yeah, just have a plan. Drop out, that's okay. Yeah. If you know you don't want to do college, drop out. But you got to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're just going to go with the flow and get sucked up into your hometown friends who, no offense to hometown friends, but they'll do this. Like some of these people, you know what I'm talking about. You really do. You know the people I'm talking about. They stay at their current jobs because they feel comfortable and they do the exact same thing. You look 5 years from now and they don't look any different. Nothing changed, right? They do the exact same lifestyle. So have a plan, kind of like Asher said, and just try it. And I think if you know that you want to do something in college and you're like, yeah, I'm actually kind of passionate about this, then yes, go to college and do it. Like take down that route. And then once you have any type of doubt or like you don't love it anymore, pull out. Then you're going to have another idea of what you want to do.
Exactly.
And just do it. So it's just like trial and error and actually doing something and not just sticking to where you're at.
And then number 2 on lessons is, please do not go to college because you think you are going to make a lot of money. The government does not want you to make a lot of money. Yeah. How many times do I have to say it? Please do not go to college if you think you are going to make a lot of money, because that is false. All right? You need to go to college because you want to do something. If you're going to college because you think you're going to make a lot of money, well, then you need to completely reevaluate what you think money actually is and what wealth actually stands for. All right? Those are the 2 biggest lessons I wanted to bring on for this podcast, though. I think we're going to close it up there. Do you have anything else to say, Ian?
No, I think that's it. I think it was a good podcast.
Yeah, that was fire. If y'all got any topics, dude, shoot us on DM or shoot our personal pages. But we're growing pretty fast. Y'all seem to have been enjoying it. There are a lot of disagreements that have been coming, but I'll just be honest. We talk real. We don't sugarcoat shit. So if y'all don't like us, keep listening. Because
no, I think it's just like we want to bring our opinion, like how I'm feeling right now about a certain topic. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, and I'm not gonna be like, we're not like skidding this behind, but okay, we have to watch out for this topic. And it's like, no, we're just gonna say it. Yeah. And
we come into these podcasts with no plan. We just talk.
Yeah, and
we said we want to talk about this topic today. Boom. We don't have anything written in front of us. We just talk about it.
Yeah, and I think it's just gonna be real. And again, like in the beginning of this, what we said is like, this is very opinionated. This is our opinion. You don't have to agree with it, and that's okay. I'm okay with you not agreeing. But I think this can relate to a lot of people and a lot of things that I've been through, and I believe some people have been through the same things as me, so they'll get some value from it. So yeah, it's just real. And yeah, we'll say things maybe that you don't agree with.
Oh wait, actually, I mean, y'all probably already clicked off, but 3rd lesson is don't take advice from people who haven't done it. That's a big thing. If you're learning from a business professional how to run a business and they haven't ran a business before in their life, they're not credible. Don't listen to them. If you want to get your credit for that class, good. Don't really pay attention to their advice because they haven't done it themselves. If they're learning from a book, that's completely wrong. Yeah. All right, but that's going to conclude this episode. Hope y'all enjoy. Like, comment, Shoot us DMs on Instagram, on personal pages, on Qualified Dropouts, whatever it
Like,
may be.
comment, share with your friends if you pulled value from it.
Yeah.
It really
And
helps.
yeah, guys, we'll catch you next Sunday, 1 p.m. Central.
Cheers.